Coming to you from the heart of the Dirty 30, it's South Alabama's #1 podcast, Drive Time with DJ and KJ.
Good Monday morning and welcome to Drive Time, the best, worst show ever. Back at it again, another week. Good morning, Hot Rod. Alan Howard's in. Good morning to you, sir. Big crowd in this morning. The Colonel's in. Good morning. Leroy, good morning. Good morning, Miss Carol. Jesse James, good morning to you. Lori Woodard, good morning. Casey Halsey, good morning to you. Miss James, good morning.
Good morning, Mother.
Kimberly Peebles is in. Good morning. Miss Gail, good morning to you. Amanda Sapp, good morning. Lisa McGraw, good morning. Kay Luttrell, good morning to you. Donald Thompson, good morning, Donald. And good morning, Kenwood.
Good morning, DJ. Big crowd in early on this 1st of June.
Hurricane season.
I'll tell you what. If it's like the rest of 2020, we might all get prepared.
Hunker down.
I know I've told you this story many times. I used to make fun of my wife when Ivan was getting ready to come through. You know how many times we've been through hurricanes and things, and it was nothing more than a few gusts of wind, some rain, that kind of thing. And she went to Walmart. She bought up all this stuff, and I'm talking about battery. I mean, you name it. And I clowned her. And let me tell you something. After that thing, I woke up and went out there and looked the next morning. I didn't clown her. I told her every time another one come up, I said, "You do exactly what you did." I didn't clown her no more. I can tell you that right now. So, I was, needless to say, if hurricane season is what they predicted anyway, it looks like it might be a rough one.
It'll be pretty active, I believe.
That's what they have. I want to say they have said that they look for it to be one of the more active seasons that we've had. So, I'm not sure. I just know that I know every year, and I think we all kind of fall into this every year that they say, "Oh, it's going to be this," or "Oh, it's going to be that." It never turns out quite that bad. And then the years they say it might not be that bad, it seems like we get hammered. So, how was your weekend?
Low key. Didn't do a whole lot. Celebrated Gracie's my niece's birthday. She turned 21.
21 years old.
Yeah, some of her friends, they had a little crawfish boil and played some cornhole or whatnot. So I went out there, stayed all the way till 9:30, then went home.
Wait a minute. 9:30.
9:30.
That's late, man. I can't believe how late did you sleep in?
Till at least 7. Worn out.
If people actually knew that when you say that you're going to have to pace yourself come July 18th, if they knew how true that statement was, they wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't know what to do.
Well, it's real.
It is. Look at there. MJ. What's going on this morning, MJ? I'll tell you what. You talk about somebody, a man after my own heart. He and I share a lot of the same traits as far as what we acted like in school. Mm-hmm. And so I have to take my hat off to him. He's quick-witted and definitely don't mind. I don't mean in a disrespectful way, but a lot of times he's subject to say things before he knows what he's saying. And people don't realize he's not being out of the way. It's just him being him. But anyway, good morning, MJ. Good to see you this morning, man. Let's see who else has jumped in here. Peggy Van, good morning. Earl Crook. Did you get Earl there?
I missed Earl.
Good morning, Earl. Tammy Odom, good morning to you. Joshua Gibson. Timmy Wiggins, good morning. Tracy Steele. I tell you what, man, a good crowd this morning. Dwayne Young, good morning. Let's see here. It was King Kane. Good morning to you. Alan Howard Gord. What's going on, Lord Christmas? All we needed was Little Debbie cakes of Virginia Slims. Have I ever told you that story about Little Debbie's and Virginia Slims?
I don't think so.
Let me tell you. So, you know, and I think you were the EMA director when Ivan came through, were you not?
I was.
Okay. So, you know, when Ivan came through and basically, you know, everything was just crazy and there wasn't a whole lot, like, I mean, locally, there wasn't anything really open because everything, you know, the power was all crazy stuff. So we decided we were going to take a trip to Greenville. We heard the Greenville Walmart was open and selling things. And so we decided that we were going to go. And so we called Alan, you know, of course, Alan, one of our neighbors, and we called him up and said, hey, man, we're about to go to Greenville and to Walmart. Is anything we can do, you know, get you or help you with or anything like that? Called, you know, the colonel, you know, several of her. And I said, your mother need anything? You know, Miss Flo. Mm-hmm. He said, call back, said, Flo said all she needs is a box of Little Debbie's and a carton of Virginia Slims.
Just the important stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the only thing that mattered, you know. Good morning, Sandy Townsend. MJ said he loves this show, so we funny. We'll have to get MJ in here one morning, man. I'm telling you.
Who's MJ?
Yeah. You know Mario Lane Sr.?
Yeah, that played football.
Mario Lane Sr. went to Miller.
Right.
He was, what was he?
There was a Mario Lane that played at Neal.
That's it?
Yeah.
This Mario Lane, MJ is the one that plays at Neal. He plays at Neal. Yeah. That's him.
Okay.
And, hey, listen, you would love his sense of humor. I mean, your sense of humor and his match up really well.
All right. Need to get him in here.
Yeah, he'd be a lot of fun for sure. Good morning, sister. Dan Caro, good morning to you. Miss Diane McKenzie, good morning, Miss McKenzie. Hope all is well. You know, but that definitely happened, and the main things that she was concerned with was those Little Debbie's. And make sure. Now I'll tell you this: nobody had power. You couldn't see anything. But when she come out of that house to come out there and give us a list that she wanted, which didn't include but two things, that hair and that makeup, all that stuff was correct.
To the nines.
It was to the nines. Now, like Gord said, her underwear might have been on backwards, but that makeup and that hair was going to be done, you know? So, that was good times right there, man. Good times. John Blair, what's going on? Freddie Whitfield. Good morning, Freddie. How's everything going down that way, man? Let's see here. Some of us need waking up to deal with 3 kids after working all night long. That's what Kimberly People said. I tell you what, I wonder how many people have more of a loving respect for teachers after an extended summer vacation, if you will.
I imagine it's gone up quite a bit.
Do you think the taxpayers would have a problem with coming up and saying, listen, we're all for teachers getting a big raise, but let's make sure that y'all don't ever turn these schools loose early again.
If they're ever going to do it, now's the time.
Yeah,
the iron's hot.
Yeah, y'all need to be beating that drum for sure. No doubt. But anyway, so how was the crawfish bowl? Was it good?
Yeah, it was fun. I don't eat them. But there was plenty, and they certainly seemed to enjoy them. O'Neal White cooked them.
Okay.
And I think that he was getting rave reviews there at the cookout. But no, it was a good time.
You don't like those bugs?
I don't mess with them.
Good morning, Shannon Stillwell. Good to see you this morning. Yeah, you know, hey, I get it. Some people, it takes a little while to get past the look, maybe. I don't know.
It's just too much for too little. I'm gonna be a little more efficient with my time. I'll pick up a hamburger, and bite into it, or a piece of pizza.
Yep.
It's just too much. I like the way they taste.
Sure.
I'm just not gonna mess with it.
There he is, Eric Bailey.
Good morning, Eric.
The man, the myth, the legend. I'm gonna tell you, he is Eric has contributed to so many drum lines around here. I can't even start to tell you how many drum lines he has. But I can tell you that one of the baddest I ever seen in my lifetime was the all-girl drum line down in Flomaton that he had.
I remember you speaking of that.
Man, I'm going to tell you. D. Thompson, you may need to double up on that shake this morning.
I
there.
wish I had another one.
DJ?
That was delicious. That's the special for the month of June, the blueberry cheesecake.
Blueberry cheesecake.
Yeah.
Okay. John Blair said just another day in F count. Teacher rating are through the roof. Yeah, I think all the teacher ratings are through the roof right now. Good morning, Melanie French. Good morning. Good to see you. A pay raise with a side of Clorox wipes and sanitizer. That's what Jesse James said. Yeah, I get that too. But it is a lot of work cracking them open. But man, I'm gonna tell you, when you do get to what you're getting to, it's worth it.
Well, there was a lot of them at the trough. So I mean, there's a lot of folks that
it seems like there's a lot of them that do like them.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Anything on the anything going on the or that you picked up on the interview with Walter on Friday? How did that go?
That was fun.
That's where I was trying to go with that, and
the people who were in on our program Friday obviously heard the phone call from Rob Brown. Rob had a show that afternoon, and of course I got in with him, and he's the same way on his show that he was on ours. And it was an hour and 15 minutes, and it was amazing the way he would work in the guest. Now, I was having conversations with him when he would go to commercial break.
Right.
And I'm going to lay this out. He had Walter on at first.
Okay.
And he brought me in, and I got to have a little playful exchange with Walter. Certainly enjoyed, getting to hear his voice and speak to him a little bit. And we went to break.
Good morning, Steve Layton.
Of course, when I left, I said everything runs through the Dirty 30. Okay, that was on the air.
Sure.
Then we went to break. He brought in Neil Caudle. A lot of people won't recognize the name Neil Caudle, but he was
Good morning, Brooke.
He was a backup quarterback at Auburn and was a holder for extra points and field goals or whatnot. Well, when Neil was in, I was still on the air and got to have a little exchange with him. When we went to commercial break, I said, Rob, you can't fully appreciate this, but Neil's grandfather, George Harrison, is from Bruton, lived on Evergreen Avenue. I said, everything really does run through the Dirty 30.
Everything.
So he'd go, man, I can't believe, wow, whatever. Well, then Coach Tuberville comes on. We're on air, and I get to have a little exchange.
You're still on with Coach Tuberville?
Yeah, I stayed on the entire time.
Please tell me that you talked about work.
Let me...
Okay, I'm getting ahead of you. I'm sorry.
I'm getting to it. Talked about Ward a little bit. We go to commercial break, and I said, Rob, I know it sounds like a broken record, but everything really does run through the Dirty 30. I said, there's 6,000 of us, 10,000 with the two communities, and everything runs through there. I can't explain it. It just does. And he comes back on, and he makes a big deal about it. It's going crazy. Well, anyway, he then brings on a writer for LSU football. And he's going back and forth, and Rob's a big Auburn guy. And toward the end of that little segment, he said, who are some players at Auburn that you enjoyed covering back in the day? And he said, well, it'd be very easy to say Cam Newton or Bo Jackson or Cadillac Williams, but one player I'll always remember is Yan Cowart. Yan was too small to play, wasn't good enough. He was just a fighter, a scrapper. He played center at Auburn, actually moved into guard. Well, anyway, I said, well, Rob, you won't believe this. I said, but Yan Cowart has a beautiful daughter who married a boy from Bruton. His name's Hayes Martin. He's a friend of our family. And he said, you got to be kidding me. He said, this is amazing. This is the best show. This can't believe the energy. I mean, he's just all over the map. But it was just crazy how it kept lining up. Everybody he brought in had a direct or an indirect link to here.
Please tell me that Coach Tuberville, did you get to speak to Coach Tuberville?
Oh, yeah. And I said, Coach Tuberville was kind enough last October, when he was through our area, he stopped and was very gracious with his time. He gave us 2 hours on our show, War Eagle Roll Tide. Would have given us 4. I said he also spoke to our high school football team the night before the Battle of Murder Creek, and Walter and I had talked about the Battle of Murder Creek during his segment, and it all tied together just pretty cool. But Tubbs was cool.
Good morning, Jesse Rigby. Good morning, Tisha Kent. Bruton's the hub of the universe. All things will pass through or is connected to. I'm convinced of that.
Oh, there's no doubt.
I'm convinced of it.
Kevin Bacon, I think, has the 6 degrees of separation.
Yes.
If you're connected here, it's 2. I mean, 2 can get you everywhere in the world.
I tell you what. That is, did Coach Tuberville, did he talk about coming on the show at all? Or?
He said he had a good time. Said he enjoyed the visit, enjoyed the catfish from David's. David's got a little plug on the Memphis ESPN affiliate.
Listen, how could he not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Good morning, Denver countrymen. Great to see everyone this morning. Big crowd in this morning. I guess you saw the clue number 3 came out last night.
I actually saw it this morning. Of course, you let it way after I'd gone to bed, but I saw it this morning. Yeah.
Yeah. I told everybody we started this, it was going to be different this year. And I've seen some people make some comments about, don't ask for another clue because they'll hold. No. Hey, listen, we're back to having fun with it. Okay, like it was the first go around, and that's why. Look, we're gonna have fun with it. I'm having fun. I think we're all having fun with it.
The pot got splashed Friday, by the way.
It. Go ahead. Yeah, let's go with that.
And it was an anonymous $40 contribution to the pot, which, if my math is correct, and that's 50-50. The cash portion of it is $17.90. And of course, we're always going to honor anonymous donations. It was made in honor of Rob Atkinson,
That's right.
recently retired T.R. Miller track football coach, teacher, science teacher. And certainly want to appreciate Donald Thompson for recognizing him anonymously. Wait, what did I say? Oops.
I think I'm concussed a little bit after that.
Sorry.
Oh, man. He didn't mean it, D-Tom. It was just one of those things. I do want to mention this. You mentioned this one day last week. We have got to have Happy in here one
That's
morning.
got to happen. That's got to happen.
I'm going to tell you. Could you imagine Happy and Rob calling in here and Happy being able to sit here and interact with Rob?
I tell you what we ought to do. We've never done this. At different times, we ought to turn the show over to a guest.
Well, sure.
Could you imagine Happy having Rob?
How many times have we said that we wanted Sarah Ann Fountain and Charmin O'Bannon to come in, and we just want to sit on the other side?
Now's the perfect time.
Sure.
We need to do that.
Sure.
Maybe tomorrow.
We need to do that.
Maybe tomorrow.
CB, Connie Baggett. Good morning, Miss Connie. We need to do that. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. They were fun.
Fantastic.
You remember when they came in? They were fun. I'm going to tell you. And I don't know that either one of them are scared or not scared. I don't think they have a fear sitting down in front of anyone, anywhere, anytime. So I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I'll reach out to them maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, hey, that'd be a lot of fun. So, did you confirm with Rob that we're gonna have a Friday with Rob segment?
Oh yeah,
every Friday.
Rob's coming to the Dirty 30 Jam.
We might want to do that a little early.
And we
in case it runs long. we gotta tell Rob. Rob, we're coming up a hard break.
we plugged the jam twice on his show.
Really?
Yeah. So the Memphis area is aware. I'm not sure if that's if that has translated to ticket sales just yet, but they know about it.
Well, listen, can't find no music in Memphis. Come on down here.
They're coming. Rob's coming.
So, Connie B said she'd enjoy that better than Tiger King. I'm glad her mentioning that made me think about this. You better have a lot of beeps when Happy talks. Well, we probably work that out. So there is a business in Navarre called the Navarre Liquor Store.
Okay.
They took good morning, Zane. John Blair says 7-year-old son Zane saying good morning this morning. Hazel said he'd be happy to donate sometime to host.
Have at it, Hazel. Come on.
We'd love you. Come on down. That'd be another one that would be worth the price of admission, which is free.
He'll be on the 18th.
Yeah, there you go. But so the Navarre Liquor Store, they just, I think being funny, they decide to write a letter to Joe Exotic and in prison. and tell him that they're behind him. They know Carol Baskin killed her husband, and they know that he's innocent, and they know that she took his zoo, and they know all this. He writes them a letter back. Like never in 100 years they expect. I mean, they were basically doing, I don't want to say in jest, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, people were so kind of enamored with that thing. That's what they were doing. Well, all of a sudden, they get a letter back from him. And it said, hey, y'all keep beating that drum, getting a pardon. And when I get that pardon and get out, I'm coming to Navarre, and we're going to do the first show on Pensacola or Navarre Beach, one of the two. Now, that's if he gets out and gets a pardon.
Wow.
And
I've never seen any of those shows.
Well, they're kind of disturbing in some ways, and in some ways, it's like a great train wreck. You just can't stop watching it. The Colonel said, big shout out to Susan Rhodes, everyone that put on the parade Friday. 73 vehicles up there for the Westgate Village Parade. They had a gathering of sorts of people parading by to kind of lift up some of the residents there, and I think that was a great thing. Just beware, Rob and alcohol don't mix well. Leroy. Melanie says she's from Memphis, and I'll let you know if I see or hear anything from Tiger fans. Well, there you go. Everybody says Sarah Ann was one of the drummers. Hey, I promise you she is. No doubt. Lots of birdseed in your future, DJ. Ooh. Is that good?
Not good.
Not good. There's Susan in this morning. Susan, thank you for your efforts. And 70, what do you say, 73 vehicles? Man, that's a pile. I mean, that's a lot of vehicles to put that together that quick. Good morning, Joe Beasley. But could you imagine? I mean, I'm saying all that about Joe Exotic to say this. That was a thing that kind of when the quarantine kind of started, that I guess everybody kind of started watching. And so a lot of people watched it and kind of got enamored with it. And I mean, the guy is a character. I mean, for sure. But to get that letter back, that was kind of crazy. I wonder if we shouldn't write him a letter.
Ugh. I ain't looking for a pen pal.
A pen pal. I don't know if I've heard that in a long time. Let's see here. Best G. Paul said there is a whole Facebook site that is a petition to sign to free Joe. Here's the thing. After watching that show, I can't guarantee you that I don't know. I don't really know what the facts are. The facts aren't about that thing.
I certainly don't. I've heard people speak of the show often, but like I said, I've never watched any of it.
Let me ask you a question. I know with you being a history buff, Chef Adam, good morning to you. Do you just not kind of get into, when I say current, that kind of thing, do you not get into those types of shows, or would you rather be watching something dealing with that kind of subject, history and the like, sports and things?
Well, Lindsay and I kind of had this Friday. We went and ate dinner at David's Catfish and came back and going to spend some quality time together, and we were having a hard time deciding what to watch. She was wanting to watch some reality something on Netflix, and I was wanting to watch MASH. So it was not. We never could get on the same page. So
that's a pretty good step.
So it was Stokes used to love MASH. Now Stokes was an easy sell. I could get him to sit up and watch MASH, and of course I think he still enjoys it a little bit, but Lindsay not so much.
Wow. Well, I mean, you gonna tell me you can't get her to latch on to Hot Lips Houlihan?
If I was a Frank Burns was the one that kept me coming back every week. He was just, they don't make them like that anymore.
No, they don't. They just don't. John Blair says he can say he hasn't watched it either. Kimberly People says she hadn't watched it. I'll tell you how I watched. I started watching. I watched the first episode or so, and I was like, I can't watch this. I mean, it's just not good. But if you can make it past the first couple, 3 episodes, then it kind of got really interesting as to what all was going on. That kind of thing. So, yes, it does, Susan. Takes a village. And I'll tell you what, we got a great village to come together and make that happen. 73 vehicles, man. That's a lot of people coming together to make that happen. And thank you for your efforts and all the stuff that you do. And that was a tremendous, tremendous outpouring from our community for sure. But anyway, did you read clue number 3?
I did. And
have you?
I've narrowed it down considerably.
Have you?
Yeah. If I had time, if I was an eligible hunter and I had a little time to spend to it, I think you've put enough out that I could go find it today.
That's what I was about to ask you. Do you feel like that?
There's a couple of 3 places that it's going to be, and I could go find it today.
You feel like the information is there.
Yep.
I say it. I've said this with every clue that I've ever give out. I've said that I've told everybody exactly where it is in every clue.
I think I could go find it today. I really do.
Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Frank Burns eats worms. Oh man, I tell you what. So 21st birthday, crawfish boils. Yard work any this weekend? Or?
Nah, yeah, I just couldn't make myself do it. I needed to. It certainly needs some attention, but with Auburn not having spring training and off-season workouts, I'm gonna save a lot of that for the fall.
Well, I don't know that I could.
I want to make sure I have plenty of things to do.
Right.
On Saturday.
I don't know. I don't know that that's a bad policy. Honestly, I think that might be a wise policy.
T.R. Miller graduated Friday.
They sure did, and I tell you what,
they had a nice night for it too. It was doable.
It was, and I'll tell you something. I think I don't know. I saw a post that somebody said, great way to do graduation as far as the stadium. Neil did theirs in the stadium this year, and of course Miller did theirs. Of course, unless you had immediate family, I don't know that you could attend. But from some of the posts I saw on Facebook and videos, I think that might be a nice way to do graduation if weather's going to be good.
I think the ones that participated in it all enjoyed it. Family members and students. I haven't heard anybody who didn't.
Think of it for the craziness that went on for those seniors in 2020.
Yeah,
they did get to do something that you and I didn't get to do, and most of us didn't get to do, which was graduate in the stadium.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a nice way to.
That was really was. Hot Rod said Cobra Kai season 3 maybe on. He sent me a link showing me the preview for it, and then he's like, I was like, heck yeah. And then like 3 minutes later, he sends me another link. It's like Cobra Kai season 3 is canceled.
Cool.
I'm like, well, daggone. That just let the air out of my sails. I will tell you, man, the first 2 seasons of that, did you watch them?
I watched season 1.
Man, first 2 were off the hook. I'm telling you. I could only imagine what season 3 would be like, so. But a lot of things like that, I'm sure, have been kind of, moved around, pushed around, that kind of thing. Because of all the virus and whatnot and that kind of thing. So I just, I was, looking at that going, dang, man, come on, we gotta be able to watch something. Like you said, how much ESPN Classic can you watch?
That's no joke.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I tell you what I've been watching the last 2 Sunday nights, and of course it's an ESPN production, but it's has to do with I just lost it. Lance Armstrong, the cyclist.
Oh yes.
And I really think this project has been better than the Michael Jordan one. To me, it has. It's been more interesting, and mainly because I watched Jordan. I was aware of all that stuff that was going on, heard the stories, so it was just a rewind for me. Didn't follow Lance Armstrong as much, was aware of the doping scandal he was involved in, along with the rest of the cyclists. But the last 2 Sundays, that's been pretty good stuff. I've really enjoyed watching that.
Do you, was that something that is this a new one that they've just come out with?
They've just released it. It's his story. Of course, this went on back in the 90s and into the 2010, 12.
I watched a documentary on that thing about Lance Armstrong. I cannot remember what the name of it was, but it was very interesting. Would you ever, and I'm asking you this from someone on the sports side of things, would you ever think about going and taking blood and like taking your blood and moving it and putting other blood in you? I mean, that is so like crazy to me.
No, but I think the bigger thing for me was, of course, in the 90s and into the 2000s, it was rampant across the board. It didn't matter if it was football, baseball, cycling, swimming, golf, soccer, everything. I mean, they were all doping.
Right.
They were all using performance-enhancing drugs.
Right.
And I wanted all to come to the forefront because it overshadows those who weren't doing it, and you've never heard of those people because they didn't have the career that the ones who did or the ones who were did. I mean, it was rampant.
I mean, just think back to Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
those 2 guys were going at each other with the home run race.
Yeah.
And I remember when McGwire was at Oakland, the Athletics, and I mean, he was just basically an average. But I'll say average. I mean, you're Major League Baseball. He's a good player.
Good player.
But I mean,
powerful player.
He gets to, what was that, St. Louis?
Jose Canseco outed all of them.
Oh, he did.
And they vilified him.
And
everything he said was the truth.
Yeah.
He gave names. He gave drugs. He gave instances. He gave occurrences.
Good morning, Susie Bush.
And they buried that guy. I mean, they ran him out of the game. They buried him. And everything he said was the truth.
Everything.
I think the one that probably got me the most, and people may not remember this guy's name, he played for the Orioles, Brady Anderson.
Yeah.
One year, Brady Anderson hit 7 home runs for the season. The next year, he hit 53. Okay, he didn't just get hot. I mean, you don't improve by 46 naturally.
Yeah. Wow. Hazel said it best. Lance was not a good guy.
He really isn't. I'm telling you, man.
No, he's not.
And watching the show, like, he was on top. Like, he was connected. I mean, they were getting. I mean, he had senators and U.S. representatives in his corner. Of course, his foundation did some amazing things. You can't take away what the foundation did.
Right.
But I was sitting there watching it last night thinking those exact same things. I'm like, this guy's a prick, man.
He really was.
I mean, he still is.
He is.
I mean, he
doesn't apologize for
it. He is, yeah. Lance is a different dude.
He is, man, and he does not apologize for it. He has no problem with being who he is.
No, he's a prick.
I'm gonna tell you something. If I was Michael Jordan,
yeah,
not that. Let me be straight about this. I don't care what anybody says. In my mind, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. Now, I know this documentary may make people think and look and all this, but it's easy to play revisionist history, okay? Mm-hmm. But, like, say what you want to about Jordan, this, that, and another, but Lance Armstrong is on a level of that most people aren't when it comes to being the way he is. You know what I mean? I mean, because not only does he not apologize for it, he relishes in being that person. I mean, I don't think it bothers him one bit.
Well, I'll tell you something else that I thought it came out in the documentary is I'm not saying his total makeup is this, but he has a piece of him that thrives off of hatred. Like there are people that he has come in contact with through his journey, through his life, that he hates, and he almost boasts about hating them.
The other cyclist that was on the team, what was his name? The one that actually won the Tour de France, and they got him for doping.
Well,
And I don't know. I mean,
Greg LeMond got out. It wasn't Greg LeMond got out because all these guys were doping.
That's right.
And they ended up,
Floyd something. Floyd Landis. That's it. Floyd Landis. Yes.
But Lance he's a different dude.
He is. Is this is this a part? I mean, like a docu series, or is it a one parter, or what is it?
I thought when it started that there was 3 parts. I know for a fact the first one was last week because I watched it. It was 2 hours. Okay. Last night was 2 hours, but the way last night ended, it almost seemed like that was it. But I thought when they were advertising this that it was going to be a 3 Sunday deal. But it seemed like last night it was over. If there's something left to tell, I'd be shocked, and I'm certainly going to tune in if there is.
Right.
But I felt like they had finished it yesterday.
No, he. There you go. MJ said, Team MJ. Hey, I will be honest with you. I don't apologize for it at all. I'll tell you, growing up, like you said, getting to watch Michael Jordan. Have you ever seen any? And maybe you have. Have you ever seen any athlete in any sport be able to say, "Give me the ball, I got it," and actually get it done?
Yes. And I think Jordan, I think you can make all the arguments in the world for Jordan to be the best ever. You would never hear me be critical of that or vehemently fight that.
Good morning, Christy Lum.
The one that, if you ask me the greatest player of all time is, I say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. However you want to quantify it, whether it's wins or personal records, he has all of it. He's won more than anybody. He's scored more than anybody. He was a quiet guy, certainly a different guy. But Jabbar was a bad man.
He was, Good morning, Raj Palmer. But the thing about Jordan that it was just so, so I guess different than a lot of these other guys was that he would take great players. I mean, the great players, and embarrass them. And when I say embarrass, they all used to make. Give these press conferences, they didn't want to end up on a poster. I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I really don't. But good morning, Fuquay. Christina Jones, good morning to you. Oh, my goodness. Coming up behind DJ on a bike in spandex will be like watching 2 turtles racing up a hill. Would that be box turtles or snapping turtles, D-Tom? You gotta ask. You gotta ask. So, what'd you say the pot was up to? $17.90?
That's the way I have it figured.
$17.90. The pot.
That's the cash.
The cash is up to 1,790 simoleons, and the prize pot is what? $400-$600 worth?
Yeah, about that. Probably $400 worth, probably.
There you go. So, it's out there. That's for sure. Y'all keep at it. So, wait a minute. He fought Chuck Norris.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did.
Oh, that's right. And
it's actually Bruce Lee.
Was it Bruce Lee that he fought? What was that? What movie was that?
I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was Bruce Lee. May have fought Chuck Norris too, but I know he fought Bruce Lee.
I remember him being Kareem and being in some of those movies. I forgot about that till they just mentioned that.
Yeah,
those old school action movies. What was the ones that Chuck Norris played in? Missing in Action?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, that's classics right there. Sarju says, Jordan for team sport, but as an individual sport, Tiger Woods.
Doper.
Let me tell you this. Good morning, Martha Clay LaFarce. Let me say this. I've said for a long time now, doping or whatever, that I don't know if it was that or if it was the sex rehab that he went to that slowed him down?
It was, he is certainly a natural talent.
Sure.
Certainly a natural talent. He bust on the scene and he took the sport by storm. Well, then all of a sudden, like Barry Bonds and the rest of them, he just changed.
Sure.
Physically. Well, you saw what happened after that. His body broke down.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched him last weekend in the little celebrity challenge.
Off and on.
He's back and striping it. Didn't miss a fairway.
Yeah.
I mean, so he got caught up in it also, looking, the pursuit for greatness and to try to be the best. But, I mean, he changed as dramatic as Barry Bonds did from a physical standpoint. But he's now back, and he's probably going to go on a tear again. A little older,
well,
but probably going to go on a tear.
Let me say this, and I say this in jest, but every time he, think about it, when all that came to a head and he had to quit, chasing women and all that kind of stuff, his game went to crap, for sure. So, let's see. Enter the Dragon. Chef Adam says, "Enter the Dragon." I tell you, it. There was a lot of those Bruce Lee movies too. So I mean, there's so many of those you can't tell. I can't tell you the name. I know Enter the Dragon for sure, but I can't tell you the name of a lot of those movies he played in. Jesse James has said, "What about that?" I mean, I don't think Tiger's got the same mentality or attitude that Lance Armstrong does, but I certainly think that he's not probably one of the nicest people in the world.
I haven't seen all of them. I've never seen anybody like Lance Armstrong. And this was my first exposure to him, like really. I mean, you kind of got behind the scenes look in depth. There's very little remorse in him. There's very little remorse in Lance Armstrong.
MJ just said Jordan for team, Ali for individual.
Ali was...
That's hard. That's a hard one to argue right there, too.
And he was all legit.
He was legit.
There was no doping going on.
There was no doping.
Rope-a-doping, maybe.
He was legit. But now I'm going to have to say this, and I'm glad Raj just said it. I got to put my money on the man in the black trunks because he was much of a man.
He was a bad man.
Forget about, up to the ear part. Okay, I mean, after that, I get it. But let me tell you something. How many people did you see that were bona fide bad guys? I mean, like they were great boxers. That they literally were over in the corner, scared to death for the bell to ring.
Tyson was a bad man. But my question is, who else in that era is considered a great heavyweight? I know Evander is, but I'm talking about. When you talk about Ali, you can talk all day about Ali. Just the next day, make sure you talk about Joe Frazier.
Well, sure.
And the next day, George Foreman.
Sure.
And the next day, Spinks.
Well,
I mean, there was some bad men.
But Tyson knocked Spinks out in what? 19 seconds?
Yeah, and Spinks was about 36.
Well, right. And he was a little older. I get it. But
Ali was bad.
Hey, I'm not taking nothing away from Ali. Now, I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm just saying, because I guess it's another thing like watching Jordan. You got to watch Tyson, when it was happening. Mm-hmm. Now, you go back and watch any Ali fight. I'm going to tell you something right now. Any man that can sit there and talk trash to you the whole time he's boxing and then sit there and rope-a-dope you and all this kind of stuff and hit you so many times you don't know what's going on. Hey, Ali was bad. He was, Joe Frazier was bad. Mm-hmm. I mean, what was it? 3 fights that they had that were epic. Mm-hmm. Epic fights. I mean, I don't know that there'll ever be a fight, any boxing matches like that ever again, of those 3 matches. So, again, look at this. Hey, he said Chuck Norris movies are as painful to watch as cornhole tournament is on ESPN.
It's funny he says that. Saturday morning, I got stuck on one.
Oh, God.
I swear to you, I went by it. I got up about 26. I have Mediacom, so 23 is ESPN.
Right.
And I said, screw it. I'm going to go back to 23. And I sat there. And then about 40 minutes later, I looked down. I'm like, my God, I've just lost 40 minutes of my life watching this crap. I did. I watched 40 minutes of a freaking cornhole tournament Saturday morning.
Yeah, you got
it. The Winter Olympics get me to that. Curling, I'm telling you, if I scroll past curling, I don't understand the game. I don't know how you score nothing, but it gets me every single time.
I have no idea anything about that game whatsoever, but it fascinates me.
It is. I watch it.
Are they scraping the ice?
I don't know.
Like,
man.
what is going on there?
I want to get the broom so bad. I couldn't get in the posture they get to let the disc go. I would love to work the broom.
I don't know what is happening there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just don't. Yes, but Tyson didn't change the sport of boxing. Tiger definitely did that with golf.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I agree with that.
No doubt.
I definitely agree with that.
No doubt.
I will say this.
He transcended the game.
Tyson did change boxing if you look at it from a standpoint of how many times during the boxing era, and I mean from even going back to Rocky Marciano and all those days, how many times during that era was there just one guy? You just pointed that out a while ago, but there was just. I mean, you say, well, there wasn't many great heavyweights during the time of Tyson. Was that because Tyson made them all look so bad?
I don't know. I mean, I watched Buster Douglas beat him. I was at the Peachtree Plaza.
Yeah.
And he beat him up.
Well, sure.
Buster Douglas,
he did.
There wasn't any fix. There wasn't any.
No,
Buster Douglas beat
no.
him up. And I'm like, okay, that could have never happened to Ali. It could have never happened to Ali.
No, but let me say this. Ali had a good head on, like he's
a boxer.
He was a boxer.
He's a pugilist.
Right. I mean, he was, and he was a he studied the game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, tactician.
He was.
He talked Foreman into losing.
Yeah.
I mean, Foreman was beat before he ever got in the ring. It was just the mental warfare that he played on him.
He did. I mean, Jesse James said Tyson did too. You ever heard the game Punch Out?
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you right now, when I went to Dadgum Showbiz Pizza Place, that was the first thing I wanted to go play was Punch Out. I mean, after I got through swimming around in them balls,
yeah,
and a baby Ruth might come swimming by you. So kid, got in there and had a accident. Could you imagine if stuff like that existed still, with like crawling around and stuff like that, with all the craziness that is going on with this virus and all that stuff? That would be nuts. Tiger made every guy on tour a millionaire. He did.
He saved golf.
There's no. Well, and so okay, so you got to get back to this. Without, and I'll say without. Maybe this is too strong a statement to say, but Jordan, the shoes and all that stuff. But if it hadn't been for Bo Jackson, there probably, I don't know that there'd have been that type of clothing thing, that type of, lineup backing like it was for Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because before Jordan, it was Bo Knows. Mm-hmm. And so I tell you, if you just watch, I was watching another on YouTube. If you just watch some of Bo's highlights from playing baseball, I'm not talking about football. Mm-hmm. I mean, just baseball. Was that guy really just otherworldly? I mean,
the only one of our lifetime.
I mean, really. I mean, like when Jesse James said best, when you think about athletes, if that guy is not and take Auburn and all that out, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just athletes. If that guy's not at the top of your list, I don't know what else to say. I mean, that guy did things that were unbelievable.
Unhuman.
I mean, really, mm-hmm. He really did. So
ran up a wall.
Hey, that was unbelievable. And then, what? 2 plays later, he throws the guy out at home plate.
I can't say I've tried this because we don't have the setup to do it, but in my mind, I've tried to do it. When he ran up the wall, he got 3 feet on it.
He did.
Boom, boom, boom. And think about that. I mean, I can get one to bust a nose. I'm coming. I mean, that's what you're going to get. He got 3 feet on it.
3.
That's pretty sporty.
3. I mean, That is, that's sporty. There is no doubt it is. But, all I'll say is this. That's what I've been watching. Stuff like that. There's plenty of highlights you can watch from Bo. And I mean, you talk about Tiger. I mean, what was it? The U.S. Open that he won that time by, was it 19 shots? 17 shots?
It was a bunch.
Whatever. I mean, like everybody, I don't think anybody else was under par.
Well,
I think he was the only one.
At Augusta, they changed the course. That's probably the most historic course in the world. Well, not the world, but in our country anyway. And they changed the course because of him. They tiger-proofed it.
They did.
That's a course that had been intact for 80 years, and they changed it because of him.
Because he
made a mockery of them.
He did. And Raj, I mean, hey, Deion Sanders, he another great athlete. I don't know that he was on a level with Bo Jackson, but I do think he was a great athlete for sure. Tiger made hammer pants cool on the course.
Who said that?
Hazel did. Oh man. Yeah. I think that, like with Tiger, this guy's hitting off of he's driving a ball, what?
330.
I was going to say 320, 330. And he take par fives and just make, like you said, he's make mockeries of them. So, and you think he's back?
I think he's back. He's a little older. I don't know that he's gonna. I think he's back, and I think he's healthy. He's gotten off the juice. Yeah, I'd watch out for Tiger. He looked really good in that celebrity tournament last weekend.
So you think that he might be just back on natural?
Yep.
And not doing all that kind of stuff.
25 pounds lighter.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
everybody who's ever done it, their bodies have broken down around them. Everybody who's ever done it, whether it's their back, whatever it is, usually the back. But
I go back to wrestling. Look at Lex Luger.
Yeah.
I mean, Lex is in a wheelchair now, and that guy used to be I'm talking about. He looked like somebody just took a chisel and chiseled him out.
Yep.
But you can't do that stuff for so long. So, yeah, Bo was a full-grown man. I mean, still is. I'd hate to know, how old is Bo Jackson?
Bo is 50, 55 or 56.
I was going to say mid-50s. Do you think he could still run?
Probably got a little giddy up in it with that hip, but I wouldn't want to get in his way of it, or if that's what you're asking me, I wouldn't want to try him. No. Yeah. No.
I think it's really neat that somebody's going to be able to win a trip to go out with him and fish.
Yeah.
I think that's really neat. So, yeah, right now, like you said, when the main ESPN channel is showing cornhole tournaments, and nothing against cornhole. As a matter of fact, did you participate in the cornhole that was going on over the weekend?
Nope.
Are you not a cornhole player?
I've never played it.
I'm going to tell you, I've played it. I'm not good at it at all.
I didn't. I watched. Once again, I caught myself watching it, even cheering a time or two.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we were talking about Lance a while ago, Raj. We were talking about DJ mentioned watching a special on ESPN about Lance. I'm going to tell you something else about that was so kind of amazing to me about Lance Armstrong was that how he could sit and put on this persona that he did for so many years, and how people around him that knew him for really what he was couldn't get people to believe that this guy was the way he is.
Man.
And there were a lot of people that were out there saying it.
Yeah.
I mean, look how many people's lives he destroyed. And he has zero remorse for it.
Zero.
I mean, he does. He has zero remorse. He does not care. So, yeah. Yeah, that's a fact, Hunter. Mark McGwire was huge. Hazel said Tiger might win once a year. Competition is pretty strong out there on tour these days.
It certainly is. And of course, it's out there because of him. I mean, he took golf to another level. There's no question about that.
I have not yet, Hot Rod. I do not know what happened to Buff. I know that video was looked like he met up with the wrong end of a mad husband or boyfriend. Let me just say that. So I don't know, but he did look rough. That is for sure. So let's change the gears just a second. If you were to say, I know you said that you kind of feel pretty good or have a lot better idea. Would you be willing to say where your thoughts are kind of leading you on the 3 clues that are out?
No. Because, I mean, you never know when things may go bad here or could go bad at the Ford store, and I may need that money. So I'm going to go pick it up for myself. In 1990, 1790. You never know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, I just didn't know.
Very descriptive clues. I mean, I would think that the areas I'm thinking about are probably common to most, given the oval, where you can look inside the oval. I mean, it's good clues.
Yeah.
I think the search area is getting whittled down.
Sure. Well, and speaking of cornhole, have they started the cornhole back up at Camp 31? They were having a weekly.
I think Monday was their day, is it not?
I think so. I didn't know if they had started that. I didn't know if they'd started that back up or not. I know they were having, and I think they were having some pretty good crowds show up to play.
Yeah, I think they have a room full of folks.
Yeah, I mean they're serious folks with that.
Oh yeah,
that cornhole. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this: whatever happened to badminton? Everybody back in the day had a net strung up in the backyard, and wanted to go out and play badminton. Whatever happened to that? I mean,
I don't know.
I guess it fell by the wayside of the slip and slide.
When I was in high school, I can tell you what was big there one spring, and it was volleyball. And I guess the statute of limitations is past. So I can share this. We'd gotten up there I think I was probably a sophomore at the time, and we had talked about playing volleyball. We'd been playing for several weeks on Sundays, and we'd play at Will McNeil's house. He had a net out there in the yard or whatnot, and we had decided that everybody got to talking trash, and we were going to have a tournament on a Saturday.
Sure.
And we waited for Willadine and Wayne to be out of town. And something came up. They were going out to the beach. They had a place in Navarro. So they got out of there on a Wednesday, so we started getting it lined up. We had brackets the whole 9 yards. There was probably 6 teams of 6. And everybody's entry fee was a suitcase of adult beverages and the cheap stuff, and we had it all stacked up.
You mean the Beast?
So there's the Beast Light. So there's 36 suitcases, and we have it lined up on the patio in the shade.
36.
Winner take all.
Wow.
And it was a double elimination deal. We started at 10, and we're gonna. It's going to finish up late that afternoon or whatever it is. And I mean, it was everybody. I mean, the age range was 16 to probably 19, but there was 36 people out there. Anyway, about 2 or 3 o'clock that afternoon, they had a dirt road, dirt driveway coming into the back of the house down on Castleberry Road. And it was Wayne and Willadine coming home early. I think they'd gotten a phone call that there was a lot of youth at the house, and here they come. So, needless to say, we didn't crown a winner, and 36 suitcases disappeared. Gone. But volleyball was, I'll say all that to say this, volleyball was big back then as far as another sport to play. We used to play a lot of volleyball.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, we talked about this some, but back in those days, softball was huge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Church, church softball leagues.
Well, I mean, and tournament softball too. I mean,
right.
I mean, you go play all day at one of the softball parks.
And that wasn't just on the weekends. I mean,
Right.
what was that? Monday night, Tuesday, and Thursday?
The City League played Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you had the Weekend Warriors that would play all day on Saturday. You'd go somewhere, and your first game would be at 6, and your last game would be at 2 in the morning.
Wow. Mad Dog 2020. Well, there you go. I tell you what, though, with sports and everything being where it is, what do you see, or what do you? Can ESPN, and I'm asking this from a standpoint of, just being able to survive. Can they survive this? I mean, that's a huge.
ESPN's on shaky ground anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. They were already struggling.
They have some contracts in place. I don't know if you go back and you renegotiate those, or really what the protocol will be. We talked about it last week. The SEC is going to play football. They decided.
Right.
I'm not telling you they're going to kick off Labor Day weekend,
but they're going
to play.
Right.
Some of the teams they have scheduled from other conferences, I don't know. I'm not as optimistic about the schools in California playing, and even the Pac-10 for that matter. But the SEC is going to play.
Right.
How much money they make this year as compared to years past, we'll see. I would think that it would be less.
Yeah. Just because from the standpoint of ESPN.
ESPN, and
sure.
plus, I mean, I would go to a game, but I think there's a lot of people who would choose not to that normally would.
Yeah. Well, and I think by that time, there's going to be a lot of people that, like you said, that want to go to do something like that. Maybe hadn't in the past. It's definitely going to be interesting to see. Best story I've ever heard was the hot. That was. We ain't gonna get into that one this morning. That was a crazy one, without question. So, anything? Did I saw that they had another crawfish bowl? I think at George's over the weekend.
I think it was yesterday, or it was all weekend actually.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm saying. I thought it was. I tell you what was it? Wings and crawfish. I think they sell the heck out of those things.
I think they sell all they bring.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, well, let me tell you, that particular story that she's talking about involves Hazel, who is watching. And Hayes will be the first to tell you. Hey, I want to ask you about this. Are you having trouble with that over there?
It's just going in. Yeah. It's okay. No, it's good.
You need a new one?
No, I'm good.
I got a new one.
I can get one maybe tomorrow. It's good.
I mean,
it's okay. Sure? Yeah.
Okay. Did we find out, and I'm asking because of someone that reached out to you and I, did we find out any more about Ben Eby's situation?
No, that there is a GoFundMe page set up.
I saw it's up. The last time I looked at it was at $320.
I think it may have gone up a tad since then.
Okay,
but yeah, I haven't come across anything that leads me to believe that it's not legitimate. Of course, we're not endorsing it. We're not trying to drive people to it.
No.
Just look at the story and see what you think. You make your own decision.
Well, the reason I bring that, like I said, reason I bring it up is, the person who reached out to us said, "Hey, I can help with some airline tickets, getting cheaper or what have you, because he got a friend with I think he said Philippine Airlines."
Okay.
So that was the reason I was asking. I didn't know. Is there a way to contact Ben
on Facebook?
On Facebook.
You can reach out to him, and I think that he would. I think if you ask him something, I think he'd answer it.
Let's see. Hunter Harp said they did announce a Major League Baseball proposed start date of June 30th.
I think they're all going to get ramped up here. I think the NBA is going to come back and start their playoffs, or maybe play a few games and then start the playoffs. But yeah, I think they're all getting ready to get ramped back up.
Sherry Weaver says she's not going. She has to wear a mask. I'm going to tell you, I find those. I mean, and this is just me. but I find myself feeling like I can't breathe with one of them on. And I mean, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just talking about personally. They make me feel like I'm like suffocating almost,
right?
And I don't know if it's just because I got something like wrapped around my face and right on my nose or whatever. I don't know, but I feel like I can't hardly breathe. I don't think going to a game would be a problem either, Fuquay. I think you'll have a lot of people. Do you think this? Do you think that they will, do you think tickets will cost as much as they have normally cost in the past? Or do you think they may have to adjust some of that pricing due to what all has transpired over the last 4 or 5 months?
I think that'll be interesting. I think it's like anything else. Price is driven by demand. I think the demand will be less, and I think you'll see tickets less. It's my opinion.
I think they're going. I think they will be too.
I think they'll be. I think in some cases they'll be substantially less.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to have to if they want to, like you said, with demand. Now, there again, it could be like you were talking about a while ago, and all of a sudden, everybody jumps up and says, "Hey, this is something to go do. Let's go do it." So
I saw where South Alabama, the University of South Alabama, put out at the end of last week, they're going to have online schooling and, of course, the traditional classroom setting. And if you're on campus, you have to have a mask on. Now, I don't know what the repercussion is for not wearing one, but if you opt to not wear a mask, they suggest you take the online curriculum.
Well,
haven't seen that at Auburn or Alabama yet, but sometimes when the ball starts rolling.
I know locally, the county schools, I think, have had a somewhat of an online school system, if you will, that county schools students could participate in. I don't know that the city has. I'm hearing that the city schools are going to give the option now of online homeschooling or physically going to school.
They call that the virtual academy.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Have you heard the same?
I've heard of that program. I didn't know that it was going to be expanded on, but I'm not surprised. I mean, I think it's kind of trending in that direction, don't you think?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I think that I think you're going to see a lot more of that before you see people. They're talking about school starting back like what we were used to starting back after Labor Day. Mm-hmm. That I think when we were in the school it always started after Labor Day.
It did when I was there.
Yeah, and so I think they're talking about starting school back then. I'm just curious to know or curious to see, how many people will actually keep their kids at home and homeschool them, because I think you may have mentioned this. There is something to be said for the social aspect, and socializing and learning to be around others and interaction and that kind of thing. I think a lot of that is lost. When you and I'm not against home. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just pointing out that a lot of that does seem to get lost. Let's see. I wear glasses. Just haven't found a mask and wear long. Yeah, I mean, it's tough for sure. Let me ask you this too, DJ. Do you think that some of this exorbitant amount of money that these coaches are getting paid, do you think that is about to get revisited?
Yep.
And do you think that it's going to be tremendous, or do you think it's going to be slight? What is your thoughts on that?
I think across the board, it'll be substantial. I think there'll be some cases where it'll be slight, but it gotten out of hand. The economics had gotten out of hand.
Oh, no doubt.
The price for tickets for the fans.
Good morning, Dustin Varner.
The salaries that are paid, the facilities. I mean, it's just, it got out of hand.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of the facilities you've ever been to, and this is all of them. I'm not pigeonholing a school. It's unbelievable what they have in place for the student athletes. I'm not saying they don't deserve nice. I'm not saying that, but to have a chocolate fountain, in the mess hall might be a little much.
Yeah, a chocolate fountain. Wow.
I mean, is that a necessity? Or is that an extra?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, no, that's an extra for sure.
But yeah, I think you're going to see. They're already asking, at the professional level, the basketball and the baseball, they're already asking them to forfeit a percentage of their salaries because they only play a percentage of the games.
Right.
And they're pretty hung up on that right now.
Faith Burton said, "Oh my kids are going somewhere. I'm not a teacher. Teachers are very underpaid." I tell you what, I don't think you're the only person that thinks that right now, Faith, for sure.
They've been underpaid for a long time.
They have. They really have. And they just like anybody else, they have to. I think after all this, I think a lot of parents have realized, hey, we sure need to get those teachers a stipend, bonus, whatever. MJ said, not him. He talks to everybody.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah. The cell phone hadn't killed him. He might use that cell phone to extend his talking.
There you go.
We would have.
Oh, sure.
We all had to pass notes.
Yep.
Or mixtapes. I probably shouldn't have said that, but that's all right. It'll be fine. I tell you, I see you yawning over. Did you get in bed late last night?
No, I just didn't sleep well. I was having bad dreams.
Do I even want to ask?
Probably not. It doesn't happen often, but it just seems like if I have one of those nights where I start off with a bad dream, even regardless of how many times I wake up, I get into another bad dream, and it's just a series of them.
Wow! So it's like a horror movie or
can't get away from it, man.
But it's a mini series that happens over about a 10 or 12 hours time of sleep for you.
Yeah, I mean, last night's a perfect example. I got up, I got so frustrated in the second one that I got up and walked around. But I knew
woke yourself up.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And I got up, put my feet on the floor, I knew my front and back door were locked. I went and checked them, did a little security check. Went and opened the refrigerator with no intentions of getting anything, just to see the light come on, check it all out, close it, laid back down, hit the master reset, fall back asleep, and here I am again, fighting for my life again. And it doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, I can't get away from it.
Yeah. Good morning, Kimberly Dawn.
If I ever start off with a bad dream, it's going to be that way the rest of the night.
And there's no stopping it.
There's no stopping it. Or I haven't found a way to stop it.
Wow. Well, have you tried to find what may cause that to happen? I mean, is it something throughout your day that you think may?
Oh no, it's demons.
Ah, okay.
It's demons.
I got you. I got you. I mean, listen, I saw the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, it's demons.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, I get it. I do. Babe, all of the softball and all that going to get kicked off this month?
Well, yeah. Babe Ruth for sure.
Okay.
What I'm calling Little League Baseball for sure. Some of the softball, we have lost some people wanting to play.
Okay.
I think that they've had other plans for the summer maybe or whatnot. Because normally we'd be finishing up in 2 weeks.
Right.
We'd finish up the second week in June.
Right.
And so we've had to consolidate some age groups, some teams. I'm still not exactly sure how many softball teams we're going to have. But yes, whatever we do have, we'll be playing here in 2 weeks.
And I'm sure you're looking forward to that. I mean, without anything that's been going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
How far out are we away on the field being finished up here?
It should be ready to play on by next season.
Okay.
Now, I don't think the project will be complete. I think the plan was to get the field ready.
Okay.
Some of the amenities may come later in terms of grandstands,
Sure.
concession stands,
Right.
things of that nature. I think they're going to get the field, the fencing, and the lights in and down, and should be able to play baseball on it next season. And I think the middle school team will be the ones who will break it in.
So the middle school teams are going to play there at that field.
Yes.
And
That's going to help tremendously.
is it, what size is that field? Same
It'll be 300 all the way around.
300.
That's a typical dimension for a junior high field.
What is Miller Cruz?
It's 365 in center and 320 down the lines.
Okay. So it was made for
Yeah.
Babe Ruth,
Babe Ruth
and junior
yeah.
high. I got
Absolutely.
you. I got you. Okay. Well, that makes sense. So, Christy said softball practice for Graham starts today.
Yep. Lindsay's got practice today.
That's probably some kids looking forward to that.
I think so, but there was, a bunch of them that had other stuff to go do too also. So I think we lost about half.
Well, like you say, I mean, if you got stuff planned or
Sure.
things like that,
I get it.
I can tell you though, if they had Disney World trips planned or something, I don't think they had to worry about going there.
What about that?
No, not for a while anyway. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying it's not going to happen for a while.
The kids now are involved in so many different things, which is a good thing. And with everything being put on hold, you're getting, ballet stuff cranked back up, majorette stuff cranked back up, and because everybody's been down for so long, so they're picking and choosing what they're going to participate in during this block of time, and it is what it is.
I mean, you can't blame them.
Yeah.
You can't blame them. What's going on in have they, and I just hadn't been down that way, because I normally take Sile Road or come down Belleville or something. Is the 31 project underway? Paving? Has it gotten underway yet?
It wasn't underway this morning.
Okay.
But, I thought all signs are, I think they're ready.
Yeah, they're getting geared up.
Waiting for a big window of weather where they can get in there and do some work. So, yeah, it should be, if it's not today, it should be any day now, I would assume.
Right. Well, I can tell you that's a welcome,
Much needed.
welcome sign.
We'll have 3 weeks of some slow traffic,
a little
but a small
inconvenience.
price to pay. Small price to pay.
Small.
Progress.
It seems like the pool at Dogwood Hills is coming along quite nicely.
I hadn't really peeked over there at it. Are they making some headway on? I tell you what just shocked me, and this, of course, not, I guess, having a fair expectation level. When they decide to take a building down, they can take it down. The Journey of Normar building, it's gone.
It's gone. It is
gone.
Doesn't take long anymore.
Golly.
Yeah, the way they're building the pool, from what I can see and what I've read at Dogwood Hills, it won't be like any stairs.
It's zero entry.
Zero entry. You just walk into it.
I think that makes it handicap accessible also.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
I do. I really do. I think that's a great thing. It looks really nice. From I've seen some aerial, I guess, drone videos and things that Bruton TV has put out. I think that's Steve Layton doing that, and I mean it looks really nice.
Isn't there a slope to it?
Yes, it is.
You can beat the heat there too, can you? Oh, imagine that.
Well, maybe.
Pay attention.
I think that one part of that clue said if you watch the show, you might be a little ahead of the game. And maybe something like that, you never can tell,
I pay attention.
Yeah. But it's definitely slow, for sure. Magic Kingdom reopens July 11th.
I wonder if the people will show up there in masses early on.
I don't think so. Let me say this. I don't think they're going to allow them to show up in the
Kingdom.
Well, I don't think Disney's going to allow that many people that they used to allow into those places like they did. Think about it. I mean, you already have security out there that you have to stop at and go through, bag check and all that kind of stuff. And now they're going to be doing temperature and all that kind of thing too. So, hey, I just, I don't know. There you go. Started in front of Chef
okay.
Adams' house last night. Stopped at 5:28 this morning. It was loud.
Progress.
Yeah.
Progress.
Hey man, it's like what we say about that paper mill smell. That's just that's the sound of progress.
Sound of progress.
Money. You know, got to
think how nice it's going to be when they get that project finished.
Yeah, oh man,
that's going to be nice.
It is. It certainly is. But like I said, the Dogwood Hill seems to be coming along quite nicely, and I'm not sure when that's going to be finished. But you have the splash pad and the pool and the great playground up there. Plenty of things to do. You know, if you look for something to do during the summertime.
All that's public property, is it not?
I think it would be considered that. Yes.
Interesting.
I think it would. Tanks are dug up there too. Well, I'm gonna tell you, like Jesse James, who would want to go? I'm gonna tell you, Disney World in any time. It's hot any time, but could you imagine the middle of the summer like that? Gosh, man. I can't even think. I mean, that's heat like I don't even want to think about.
That'd be hot.
It'd be hot. Anything else going on this morning that we need to put out there and talk about or not talk about? Or, I mean, as far as, anything happening around the Bruton area we need to make people aware of to, they might want to be on the lookout for or
I think we've mentioned most all of it.
Yeah. We got the paving starting and all that kind of deal. So I was looking here to see, let's see here. What is this? Let me see what this is. Let me back up here. I was trying to find, I had one thing that I wanted to, and I don't know where I put it. Oh, I know I was going. Did anybody hit that jackpot, that Mega Millions? Did
I don't know. I know I didn't.
I didn't either, but I didn't know if if they had. I didn't know if anybody did. I never saw where anybody did, so I didn't know if that happened or if that didn't happen. Let's see here. I was trying to. Oh well, maybe later. It'll be fine. So you think we about covered it all?
I think we got it.
Best thing about Dogwood Hills, the main event wing. Those wings are good.
They're good.
They are good for sure. But I know one thing. I know back in the day, what was it that was so good up there, DJ? That besides the drinks, what they serve in there that was so good that I'm trying to. Was it that hamburger? It was pretty good. Everybody liked to get from. What was it that was in there that they served? It was pretty good in the restaurant.
The hamburger was good.
Yeah, I remember it was one of them. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. I knew it was something.
There's the music. We're off and running.
Clue number 3 is out. So get ready. Never know when clue number 4 might be coming.
Pay attention.
You never know.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody being in this morning and wasting some time with us. If you have a little more to waste tomorrow, get back in here and we will do it again. Y'all have a great day. Be safe traveling, coming and going. We'll see you tomorrow. Love y'all.